Hello. Welcome in, guys, gals, non-binary pals, nerds, observers, bystanders, bloodsuckers. This is Silicon Valley by night, and we are Front Chill. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Nomad for being a sponsor of our show and channel. And let's get into who these people are. So myself am Tony. I go by Hatter on the socials, find Front Chill, and then find the weirdo that looks like me who's following them. That's me. Next, I will be storytelling for this crew. Next, let's go with the pink person poking at her eye.
I was itching my nose, thank you. Yeah. I'm Lynn. I'm Legs McBoy and Sailor Trash Face on just about everything. I'm gonna be playing Lotty. That's about it.
Cool. Then let's keep traveling across the color spectrum. You with the not quite so pink hair.
That's
Does everyone?
Caitlin.
everyone else.
Oh, Ginger. Yeah, that's next.
She has a hue on that. That's my bad. All right.
Yeah, sure, it's fine. I am Caitlin. I am a theater file on pretty much all the things, and I am playing Charlie.
Excellent. Skipping color spectrum entirely. Actually, no. Let's stick with it. Hey, you with the shiny lights behind you.
Oh, well, I have red beard hair and no top hair, so I guess that segue works. My name is Yev. I'm at YevP everywhere, and I will be playing Joe.
Excellent. Let's bounce around a little so we don't confuse too many people. Will the lady with the yellow glasses, is that what color you're wearing today, or are they white?
They're gold today.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are you?
I am Lisa, or Lisa, or Miss Lisa. You can find me as That's Ms. Lisa on Instagram. I will be playing Annis Glendenning.
Great. And then I'm going to bounce over to the other bearded gentleman who has not yet introduced himself.
My name is Casey. I am an Aries.
Uh-oh.
I like Machine. I go by Doomsayer in most gaming networks, and I will be playing Z.
And then last but not leastly, the other green-haired lady.
Hello, I'm Elisa. I go by Missy Lisa Face on most of the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. And I'll be playing Lady Gwenlian.
Excellent. All right then, let me switch over here to the storytelling situation. And this evening, as the sun fades over the bay, the camera tracks over to the East Bay, Oakland. We find Annis awakening. Go ahead and make me that rouse check as you greet the night. So that's just one die.
I got an 8.
That means you do not awaken any hungrier than you started the night before.
Sweet.
So you're good there. And you recall that you and Nflex need to meet with 8-Ball to go over what happened last night.
Oh, yay.
You know that 8-Ball can be found playing some basketball on a blacktop court, sort of at the end of an alley between some high-rises.
Like, do I know? Or do I know?
It's typically where he's found at the beginning of an evening after he awakens.
Gotcha.
So you figure you can meet him, and Enflex will likely be there. Or if you want to futz around a little bit in the town before you go meet him, maybe text him, find out where you're going to meet.
I go straight there and I find myself a corner to post up in and wait it out.
Are you trying to be super subtle, or are you just like waiting?
Waiting.
All right, cool. You watch some of the locals play a couple rounds of half court. You see 8-Ball show up. He jumps into a game. Apparently he's on skins on that one. Notices you halfway through the game. Finishes off. They don't win. Throws his shirt back on. And then saunters over, almost on cue. You can hear Enflex and his Bluetooth speaker coming down the alleyway, and 8-Ball like almost stops on cue with the music and just sort of watches him as he strolls up. Still as fresh as last night, different color scheme, but still pristine. Thankfully, he doesn't do the thing where he leaves the tags on everything. That's a little 2008, you know, so. And,
Blessings.
yeah. It seems like Enflex waits till the end of a chorus where it's mostly comprised of words that would never be able to be used on the radio. There may have been a couple words that weren't. And then hits pause and is like, sup. And 8-Ball just sort of gives him that same look you're giving him. And he like just looks over at you. And he goes, I heard there was quite a party that night.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Sarcasm.
People, they're recruiting people. Why would you send me there?
Didn't know it was a recruiting party.
And this one wants to run at bullets, thinking he's immune.
Enflex is like, it sucks, but
If you don't have to heal it, you don't do it.
whatever. And 8-Ball's like, so who was recruiting? Names, faces, what you got?
Vanavar was recruiting people.
Oh. Have you ever met Vanavar?
We shared eye contact for a minute last night before I jumped out of a window.
What did he look like?
Oh. She tells what he looks like?
Yeah, you described that he was actually like disfigured, but otherwise was like yay tall, seemed to be of like vague Caucasian descent, right? And he goes, disfigured, that's weird. Alright.
Well, someone saying they were Vanavar was recruiting people. And then there was that biker gang. And then the cops showed up, and there was a lot of firearms, and everyone dispersed. I don't believe anyone stayed behind, but as I don't run at things that are trying to kill me, I came across the upper catwalk and walked past supposed Vanavar and his people. Very large man holding back doors, acting as a door, as it were. And then I jumped out the roof and down the back. I didn't hang out to see what was going on.
Enflex this whole time is your hype man? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Enflex was much help.
Yeah.
Then and now.
8-Ball backs up a little bit and he's like, biker gang. Which one? Or what were they like?
Oh dear. You expect me to know these things? They were all wearing jackets with, like, you know, something on the back. There was a cute Asian lady with them. Does that help?
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you. Very good.
I can't deny you hung out with me for a minute. I don't recall her name.
He says, yeah, that was probably Yui. She's from down there, Fremont. There's a crew that she sort of hangs out with out there. Not quite a coterie, but like they watch each other's backs. All right.
Right?
And you hear a little zzz, 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 and he looks down at his phone and he goes, "You up for another trip tonight?"
Is there gonna be more people shooting at me?
If so, then I'm losing a lot of friends.
Alright, I can go out.
Please, head down to San Jose, well, Cupertino specifically. If you could meet Angel and Jorge down there at Valco, and let them know what you saw. That way we're not doing the telephone game.
Fair.
They should be in the food court where the Benihana is in the back. At the skating
Valco's
rink.
still standing.
Huh?
Valco's still standing.
Out of character. In this universe, yes.
It made a comeback, huh?
It's a little different in this universe. We'll see if we get into it.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, just
They light things on fire in front of you.
yes. Some of our kind do not like that.
Alright.
Job. Make him drive you.
Come on, Inflex. Let's go.
It's like, it's cool. If you don't want to go, you don't have to go. It's fine.
Get in the car.
All right. He turns the Bluetooth speaker back on. A little quieter, though. It seems like he's trying.
I'll give him that.
8 Ball yells after you. Take your time. Midnight.
Alright.
All right. Is there anything specific you and/or Inflex want to get up to before that meeting?
I'm not down too much. Anything, if anything. I'm good. I don't have anything at home to necessarily play with, but that's not how I do my hunting anyway. So, I'm fine.
Inflex is like, I might go hit up a spot. I'll meet you down the block around 11.
Can do.
And then he saunters down the walkway, and his Bluetooth speaker gets louder.
So kind.
Moving slightly easter, a little norther, Z. Make me a rouse check as you greet the night. So that's just roll me 1 die and let me know what you get. On the hunger check, that's okay. That means you're good. You're good. It's a good night. You know, you had your talk. Yeah, no, that's the no. Yeah. You know, you met some people. You had some fun. Had a chat at the bar. And you're ready to start your next night of existence, but you like go to fix your lapels, and they're just not right. They're not. You missed that smoking jacket.
Did I pick up somebody else's jacket?
I don't think you did.
What's wrong with you?
You left the one from last night in that guy's car that dropped you off.
Yeah, the guy who can't hide very well.
Yeah. It's okay. You remember that the guy worked at the iFix in Burlingame.
iFix. Maybe he can fix this stupid jacket too. Yes, I'll go there.
So, short, like anime-style montage of Z sitting on a bus, sitting on a BART, sitting on Caltrain, sitting on Smart. I think that's the San Mateo one. And then standing in front of iFix.
Ride smart. Ride smart.
Okay, I see if the dastardly person who stole my jacket is in the iFix.
Well, his car's definitely parked there, but the coat's not in the car. Actually, it might be. I don't know.
Who's around?
No one really. It's quiet.
I punch out his back window and see if there's anything in my car.
All right. Hey, Yev.
Yeah.
That crazy guy who left his coat in your car last night. Would you have left the coat there? Would you have taken it inside?
It's probably just in the back seat, crumpled up after I threw it there. I left it on my front seat. So yeah, it's all his.
Z, you see a smoking jacket.
Excellent.
It doesn't feel like it's the right one, though.
I try it on anyway.
It fits, but there's something. It's not right. It got smaller. It's bigger.
I go into the iFix and ask him if this is his or mine.
Joe, you hear a little ding as the door to your shop opens, which is weird because you could have sworn it was closed.
Hello. Welcome back.
I remember you from last night. Is this yours or mine?
Z, you realize? No, yeah, this one's yours. It's good.
I certainly wasn't wearing a jacket last night. I'm not wearing a jacket this night. I try not to wear a jacket, period.
What's wrong with you?
I don't really get cold.
What does that have to do with it?
It's what jackets are for. They make you warm.
Jackets are to wear. Let me guess, you like cloaks, right? Superman outfit.
No capes. I like hoodies and jeans and things that are comfortable. You know, do you have a reason?
Gotcha.
Just not trying to stand out. Yeah, no. Do you need something?
I brush glass off of the jacket and be like, no, I just came by to stop to get my jacket.
I'm assuming I noticed the glass falling down onto my shop's floor. I will inquire about it. I'm curious as to what did you break?
Nothing. The door was locked.
The door.
Yeah.
Oh, to my car. You broke my car window. That makes sense.
No. Billy broke your car window.
What did now?
Got in the car. What?
Oh, I see. You just got into it. Sure. Understood. Okay. Well, if that's all that you came here for, to break into my car and to steal your jacket back, by all means, please go ahead, take it. I will see you later. If you have any electronics, I'm happy to try to fix them for you, but I'm very busy.
Yes, you are very busy. The bell to the door rings again.
I'm good. Yes.
Another gentleman in a nice suit, sort of has that like taut, stuffy British kind of air to him, but he's a little swarthy. And he comes in and he goes, excuse me, might I inquire if a Joe is here this evening?
That is a me. Very popular today. Usually not so popular. What can I help you with?
He looks over at Z, and he goes, might I speak with you in private, Joe?
Yeah, by all means. Would you like to step in the back? Would you like me to kick this dude out? Up to you.
In the back would be fine. I wouldn't want to intrude on any of your business.
I mean, I think his business with me is finished for the evening, but by all means, I'll show him to the door, and then I'll look back at Z and say, be here when I'm back, don't be... whatever.
So before they go in the back, I talk to the guy and I say, "Are you hot?"
And the guy goes, no, thank you, I'm taken.
No, temperature, jacket hot.
No, I'm perfectly fine.
And I just look back at him and say, "See,"
Would you be cold without your jacket?
and then I just walk out towards the car. I don't need to wait for him to door.
I will show him to the back room. Shaking my head the entire way.
Oh, and while he's back there, I rifle through his car and check over he's got tire irons, tires,
Just-
air tires.
I mean, you definitely find some knives and some. How thorough are you?
Oh, I can pick it up.
You find some stuff.
Yeah. Well, it might take a minute. We'll see. So, Joe, you and this gentleman step in the back, or not, since Z has let himself out.
If he's concerned about privacy, we'll go in the back anyway.
He sort of like rolls his neck a little, and he goes, I'm not too concerned with privacy if no one else is about.
Well, there's no cameras back here.
He's like, I've never been concerned about cameras.
Huh. Intriguing.
He goes,
Go on.
yes. I am a very close acquaintance of, and he uses Ivy's last name.
Have you heard from them lately?
No, which is why I've contacted you.
Well, is this you contacting me, being here right now?
Yes, indeed.
Well, I have not heard from them either.
Right. Which is why I would like for you, who was at the event held last night,
There's a gala.
to perhaps go to a little get-together otherwise being held that, as far as I understand, should not be nearly as exciting. At a Valco Mall at midnight.
All right, that's down south, isn't it?
Yes, Santa Clara.
Okay.
I believe you're familiar with Jorge and Angel?
Loosely. Yes.
Perhaps inquire what they thought was going on, and I will, and if you could be so kind as to let us know, and he slides you an old Nokia brick.
Oh, does it look like the one that I got earlier?
No, it's a different one.
Okay.
He's like, if you could just let me know via this means, tomorrow night, at your convenience, your family members would be most appreciative.
do I have an idea as to what he is referring to when he says that?
Yes, you're pretty sure he means clan-wise, since he mentioned Ivy previously.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, no, it wasn't a threat.
And what is your name? So I know who to address when I make the call. It's polite, you know.
He goes, oh, absolutely. Around these parts, I go by Timothy Wentworth.
Timothy Wentworth.
Tim, for short, of course.
Sounds like you should own a department store, Tim.
I might.
With a name like that. Okay. Sure. I will close the shop down and go on a wild goose chase on your and the family's behalf. Happy to do it.
Well, it didn't look like the shop was open, so I thought it'd be fine.
I mean, it's kind of like it's closed, right? But that's where I can do all of my work.
Well, I'm sure you'll find some time to deal to the more mundane items. Are you looking to be compensated for your time?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Check your bank account tomorrow evening. I think you'll be quite satisfied.
Now, is it like a sliding scale? You're just paying me for information? Would you like me to, like, find out anything in particular, or literally just his whereabouts?
As you know from being part of our organization, we do contract work. So this is a down payment on what you find this evening.
Noted. Okay. I will tally-ho then, Mr. Tim Wentworth.
Quite clever. Well done.
You bet.
Good evening.
Good evening. I will put the phone in my pocket. I'll throw on a little like jacket, and then I will escort him out and close up.
As you escort him out, you see your car and most of its contents spread out around it, with Z very closely inspecting various items. I think he's probably checking his teeth in a tire iron currently.
Yeah.
And Timothy sort of pauses and he goes, "Coterie member of yours?"
No.
Oh.
I don't like that type of cheese.
Is he a problem?
It's like a barnacle. You know, like what a barnacle is?
Oh yes, I'm well acquainted.
It's like that type of thing. You like interact with them once and they just kind of follow you around, or like show up in random parts when you're like looking in a direction. You're like, oh, there's a barnacle there. It's weird.
A more serious cast falls over Timothy's face and he looks over to you and he goes, "Has he said anything particularly insightful to you recently?"
Oh yeah, mainly about jackets. He's really into high fashion. It turns out that jackets are not just for keeping people warm. They are also for wearing. Just because.
And just for, what's the word I want? Comprehensiveness. Has he said anything 3 times repeated?
Not in a row.
Do you wish to assist in destroying him?
No.
Oh.
He's not troublesome. He's just, well, he did break my window.
Billy did.
What's a Billy? Sorry? Oh, the goat did it. Okay. Yeah, no, we probably shouldn't murder him. The world would lose a poet, clearly.
Well, I'll leave you to it then. Good evening.
Hi, Tim. Nice to meet you.
And he strolls down the block, out into the night. And there you are with Z.
Good luck with that one.
Would you like to go on an adventure? You can wear your jacket.
Check is really not that important. It's just mine.
Well, that's...
I did find some knives, though. Those are kind of nice.
The knives are nice. Do you know how to use knives? Yeah. That's the traditional method. Right.
He's a protege.
I'm just gonna start like tossing the rest of the stuff into my car, probably in the trunk, and then if the shop has like cardboard and some duct tape, I'm gonna duct tape the window in the back.
When he pops the trunk, I'll inspect the back of the trunk and I'll climb in. He can lock me in if he feels the need, but I'll chill out.
Oh, that would be delightful, actually. Like, I will lock you into the back of the truck and just say, hey, we're going down to the Valco Mall. Doesn't look like you're doing much of anything, but maybe you can help me look for some people.
Ice skating! Yay!
Yeah.
Delightful.
If you're nice, if you behave, maybe we can go ice skating. I just start taping stuff up.
I imagine Z's in the trunk with two of the knives, running them across the top of the trunk as if they are skate blades.
How long is it to the Valco?
Oh, like... Well, from Burlingame, about half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on how fast Joe drives at this night.
What type of car does Joe have?
It's a sedan. It's not anything fascinating.
It's probably a Corolla.
Brand, please. Is it Japanese?
Sure. No, it's Korean. It's a Hyundai. It's a Kia thing you would do.
Of course it is. I'll take down the middle thing and crawl in through the back seat.
Nice.
Like hang out in the back
Z
seat.
berths himself into the back seat.
Great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an Optima. It's a hybrid. It's nice. You know, friendly.
Meanwhile, Charlie.
Yep.
So, if I remember correctly, you were meeting Niels tonight as well.
He was gonna stop by the bar, yeah.
Right. So you roll into the bar, you're working your half shift, and then in walks Niels with this guy with a deep hoodie, wearing like PJ pants and flip-flops, and his feet are really gnarly. And it's about an hour till you're off your shift, and you don't know what it's going to be like if these two keep hanging around.
Hey, Niels, who's your extremely subtle friend?
He like slaps him on the back and he's like, "This is." Can I tell? And the hoodie shrugs, and he goes, "This is Mike."
Hey, Mike. I don't get off for like an hour. And I was gonna, have a snack before we went wherever we're going.
And you hear a cool from under the hood, and he like moves away into the crowd.
No, could you...
Neil sort of looks after him, and he goes, "Meet us out back when you're off your shift."
Yeah, that sounds like a much better idea. What did I tell you about bringing people in here?
It's cool.
Okay, yeah, I'll meet you out back in an hour.
All right. So you go the rest of your shift, and they're gone. Like you don't see them. They don't harass anybody. It's just a blip on the night. It's fine. You pull off the apron, walk out in the back, and there's
Take
Niels.
a shot on the way out before I have to deal with him.
Do you have that merit?
I do, but it's mostly just out of habit.
Nice. So yeah, you walk out back, and there's Niels, and there's Mike the Sweater, and there's also a young man who's sort of just standing there, dumb.
All right, I'm off. Who is this? Did you
Niels goes, ta-da!
take the fun out of it?
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
The Sweater chuckles.
Do we have time? Do we need to take it to go, or?
Mike, the hoodie shrugs, and Niels is like, yeah, a little bit. I mean, we can go. Oh, my bad. When you woke up this evening, make me a rouse check.
Oh yeah, right.
I was so excited for Niels.
8.
All right, you're
I
fine.
also
You're good.
rolled an 8.
Good, thank you. Yeah.
Is that 3?
Oh,
Isn't that what you rolled as well?
I also rolled an 8. It's an 8 kind of day.
I can only hope that you start rolling worse. Okay.
Insightful. Big debate.
So,
Never again.
so Mike sort of just taps the guy's shoulder, and he like does the like zombie turn left face as Niels marches your weird little parade out to the street, and there is this jalopy of a car. Let me see here. What do I have here? Do I have? I'm gonna make sure I got my notes right so I don't goof it up. Cool. I don't. Yeah. It's definitely pre-90s. You can only imagine the smell that it's gonna make when it starts up, and the sweatshirt hops into the driver's seat. Niels opens the back door for you and sort of gestures, and he opens the door and sort of police shoves the person into the back seat, and Niels runs and gets into the passenger side and sort of like nudges Mike and pokes his thumb back at and you see the Sweater sort of like nod and snap, and then the guy sitting in the car looks over at you and he goes, "Oh hi, my name's Derek."
Hi, Derek.
How you doing?
Fine. Hold on. And I'll turn over to Niels and be like, I'm confused. Is this a snack, or is this like what is happening here?
Oh, it's a snack. You do your thing. I'm gonna turn on my music, and then when you're good,
I can't do it when people are looking, so just don't.
no, yeah.
It's new. Feet shy.
So yeah, you chat him out. He's a little dumb. It's weird, but you know you work into it.
He's not a regular, right? I
No.
don't recognize him. Okay, good.
Go ahead and make me a Wits plus awareness roll, please.
Okay. And remind me, one of those becomes a hunger die?
How much hunger do you have currently?
1.
Okay, so you wouldn't be. So yes, one of those die would be red, and you can't recover that unless you drain Derek completely.
Which I'm not planning to do.
Okay.
That is 2 successes, one of them on the hunger. No, I'm sorry, 3 successes.
Any on the hunger?
One of them is a hunger.
But not a messy critical.
Not
Okay.
a crit, no.
Yeah. You have the snack. It goes good with the shot you had a moment ago, and you think you're getting the hang of this. It's pretty good. But with those successes, you notice under the hood, it's like blank. Like he has no features. It's just flesh. It's really unsettling. You don't have any way to see through things, do you?
I can sense the unseen.
Yeah. Do you want to try that on him, or?
Sure.
Okay. So if you activate that bad boy, let me double check I have the right rules for saying that.
It says resolve and aspects, I think.
Yeah. And I don't think that takes a rouse check. I think you just turn it on, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it says cost free, so yeah.
Cool. Wits plus aspects are resolve.
Yeah, if they're actively searching for something, it's resolve and aspects.
Cool. Go ahead and roll that wits plus aspects since you noticed it.
Oh wait, so it's wits and not resolve? Okay.
Either.
And is there a hunger die in this one or no?
Yes. It's going to be in all of your rolls, unless it's a check, which would just be one roll.
Yeah.
What are
That is 2 successes.
It like flickers in and out like a bad camera feed, but you see underneath it is almost worse. He's like gnarled and grotesque. It's you're thankful for the hoodie and try not to concentrate on it anymore.
Okay. I will finish my snack and tidy up a little bit, and then so Neil, how did you two meet?
Neil actually doesn't seem to have an answer right away, and sort of like looks over at Mike for a beat, and let's see here. He goes, Mike does mixing for me sometimes. Yeah.
Huh.
And from under the hoodie you hear, giving him a ride to San Jose.
Well,
We're making a stop first.
oh, okay. A stop where?
Niels is nodding his head. He's like, he's meeting Jorge and Angel Evalco, so it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Those are those people from the other night, right? Or from last night, right?
He goes, yeah, Jorge was there. Angel wasn't.
Yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure Angel wasn't. She might have been.
Okay.
They. He goes, he starts telling you about the open mic place he's going to in San Jose, and how they're really cool, that they're actually like a publishing studio that does like alternative comics. It's pretty neat.
This is Neil.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as long as nobody tries to, you know, draft me or shoot at me, then that sounds great.
You see the hoodie like nod in agreement, and Niels is like, no. I mean, unless you want to do vocals on one of my new tracks, like, you know.
You really don't want me to do that, I promise. But you know, if you need some album art or anything, I haven't done a shoot in a while, but
You see Neil look off into the distance, like he's being visited by a muse. And at about this time, you guys pull off of 280, and almost too fast, you take that off-ramp to head southbound and come up into the like food court parking lot of Valco Mall. Let's see here. Mike is like, so you were at the thing last night, huh?
Yeah, it was something.
And you take pictures?
Sometimes. Yeah. I mean, you know, just like as a hobby. I tried to go pro with it. I had an Instagram, didn't really go anywhere. Why?
Did you take pictures last night?
No. Just didn't really get the opportunity. What with the SWAT team showing up and everything.
Neil sort of looks back and forth, and he goes, you know, Charlie, if you had happened to, it might have been okay, because Mike might owe you some favors if you were to give him something like that.
Really?
And Mike goes, yeah.
You know, I just remembered I might have snapped one or two. I'd have to, you know, look through my camera and see. But what kind of favors?
The hands come off the steering wheel, and like he sort of reshifts, and he goes, excuse me, and out of the like sweater mono pocket, he pulls an old like Casey Jones hockey mask and puts it over, and he goes, I know the regular thing kind of puts people off, so this helps. And the guy snores next to you.
Oh shit! Yeah, we gotta put him somewhere at some point.
And Niels is like, we got him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I normally don't like take them out of the bar. It's just easier when they're just kind of still in the bar.
He's like, it's cool, we got it. He'll find his way home safe. It's okay.
Okay.
And the mask sort of says to you, he goes, if you need help with like making sure no one can ever get your emails, or like clearing out old social media profiles that you can't get a hold of, or let's see, if you were ever on one of those websites that takes your passwords, I can make those disappear.
How about getting people's names off of leases?
You see like a slight head nod, and you can only imagine there's a grin that scratches across whatever he had for a mouth. He goes, if those pictures are good enough, absolutely. You analog or you shoot digital?
Oh, digital.
Nice.
Yeah. I decided if I would have brought my. Probably wouldn't have my camera with me if I was just coming off of work. But I will look and have Neil let you know. I might have something worth seeing.
Yeah, if you have an SD card or an USB, pass it to Niels. He'll pass it to me, and I'll owe you one.
Yeah, okay.
Niels is almost peeing himself. He looks so excited. It's weird, and you're not 100% sure what that's about. And so Mike goes, I don't know how long this is going to take. And then like opens the door and gets out. And Niels is like, Mike. And the hoodie turns around and goes, do not ask me what day it is. Yes, you can come. And so Niels like bails out of the car, and he's like, come on.
Yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, Lady Gwenlian, make me a rouse check as you greet the night.
Alright. So it's just a straight
D10.
D10 roll, right?
Yeah,
7!
you're good. You wake up refreshed, ready for another adventure. You know you have till midnight to get to the Valco for your presentation to the Dukes. Do you wish to attend to any business this evening before then?
Well, she's doing all right hunger-wise. So she probably, I don't know, she probably does some literally routines stretching and brushing up on sword form. Feeling real cool about herself. Getting extra ready because she's gonna be meeting with the Dukes tonight, and it's very exciting to be part of their circle. So she's trying to make a really good impression, especially since she's never met Angel.
Nope.
So she's excited. She's excited. She feels like this is going to be a big opportunity for her.
Excellent. And then, Lottie,
Yeah.
make me that rouse check
Hey.
as your eternal childhood drags ever on.
6.
6 is okay. You're good, I think. 90% on that one.
I mean, if I need to go eat someone, I need to go eat someone.
Do you have hunger, or are you good right now?
I don't know. I rolled a 6.
Do you have hunger from last night as well?
I don't think so.
All right. So yeah, you wake up refreshed. Teddy is there to attend to your needs.
Yeah, how's he doing?
He's fine. He's got didn't he get a
Pretty
black
messed
eye?
up.
Oh yeah. He looks like he had a rough night, but he's cleaned up. He's got the little butterfly band-aids, and the shades cover it. Different suit. He's all right.
Okay.
It's not great.
I ask him if he wants to talk about it, even though I don't really want him to.
Because he's very well trained, he goes, "No, ma'am." For Shiggles though, go ahead and make me a wits plus etiquette.
Wits plus etiquette?
Yeah.
I ain't got shit in etiquette, so that's a 2 dice I could roll.
Woo.
Well, they're both 7s.
He doesn't want to talk about it either because it was terrible.
Yes, it was.
All right, great. Same. You know that you have a handful of hours till you need to be at that mall out there to meet with Jorge and Angel.
How long have I got?
Like 5 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat anyway then.
Your normal stomping grounds?
Yeah, the playground by the Tech Museum.
Right. Make me... Let's see, how do you usually go about that?
I usually sit on a swing set and pretend to cry.
Right. So yeah, go ahead and make that manipulation plus performance roll.
Four successes?
Excellent. Yeah. Sucker born every minute. And you just reeled in another one. Do Do you drain them and dump them, or do you just take a bite, let them go on their way? I forget.
I drain them, but I have Teddy for the dumping.
Right. Once you sort of let go, and the body slumps to the ground, out of that sedan, or out of that SUV, he slides himself out, comes over, fireman carries the
First, I
body.
stand with my arms out, so he can get any blood off of me that might be on my pretty dress, or my curls.
He comes up with the mixture of borax and water, you know, the classic remedies, and thorough inspection. And I don't know why, but I feel like a pat on the head is the signal that you're all good. Okay, you get the pat, and he makes sure that you get and he walks you over to the SUV, helps you up into it, secures the door, and then goes back, and you get the little jostle as you feel weight hit the back of the cab of the car, and as the back of it closes, he drives to a different spot. Door opens, you feel the weight lift, you hear a splash, door closes. He asks you where to next.
How much time we killed at this point?
A couple hours. And it takes a little while to get ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back so I can get, you know, a new, brand new, pretty dress. Make sure my ringlets are perfect.
Great. And then at 11:30, you guys head up. Excellent. So your SUV slides into the upper parking lot behind Valco. You see some other vehicles there. One of them is a janky old late model car. I believe, let's see here, Joe, you also pull up into this parking lot. There's a bunch more cars than you'd expect for this time of night, but with the movie theater on the other side of the structure, maybe it's fine.
I will park the car far away from the other cars, or like a walking distance away so that it's not near the others. And then I will pop the trunk and let Z out.
Does he go out through the trunk, or does he climb out of the back seat?
Yes. If he's in the back seat, we would have been chatting the whole time. So I will just park the car and get out. And then just start walking towards the mall, and maybe he'll join me, maybe he won't.
We shall see. Is there anything else interesting in this car at all?
No, you found it all.
Yeah, the car doesn't have a ton of like fascinating stuff in it, just like a couple knives.
What does the knives look like?
One of them looks kind of like a railroad spike that was just like beaten down into like a knife on an anvil. So like very very crude but pretty sharp. And it has like a little T at the back where the railroad spike would have been hit. And then one is just like a traditional kind of like hunting knife. So longish, a little serrated at the top, has a little hook on the tip.
So, okay, I take both of those and bring one.
Okay.
Are we going to the ice skating rink?
If you're good, maybe. I have to go find someone though, and it looks like there's another party happening around.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe. I mean, I used to love ice skating. It's been a long time.
Maybe
Maybe.
standard the spectator sport.
Uh-huh.
I love the Chibi episode, like 3-minute vignette where it's Z and Joe ice skating hand in hand. Oh, I'm here for it. Anyway,
I think Z has one of the little buckets that he pushes down the ice.
It's a little emergency orange cone that they just put on the ice that you can hold on to.
Lady Gwenlian, how do you make your way up to Valco?
Oh, it's definitely a show. Like, you know, the shoulders back, striding, thinking murder. You know, the Charlize Theron walk. Yeah. Yeah, dressed to the nines. Looking like a dapper like jockey or something.
Dapper jockey.
Yeah, like the little like riding coats and like a fluffy ascot and like really tight pants and tight riding boots, you know? She's got her sword strapped to the side.
She's going foxing today.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. That's what she looks like.
Yeah, but how do you
Walking into the mall.
how do you get there? Do you drive? Or do you ride like their light rail or?
She struts the whole way.
I tried the whole way. No, it's definitely the light rail. It's just me like people behind newspapers being like, all right. She's still sitting really straight backed.
Nice. So at a certain point, you do have to transfer to a bus, but still glorious.
So glorious. So glorious.
So you, as you get off the bus, you would go up through the structure of Valco to get out to the food court, where you would see a small assemblage of similar individuals that you saw last night at the event. So pause there. Anis and Enflex meet up at 11 out there on the corner where agreed to. Were you guys taking your car or his car? So
Don't have a car.
you're taking his car?
Yes. If those are the two options.
It is lowered. It is loud. It is gross.
Have you not heard of not drawing attention to yourself?
And he like looks at you like you're speaking a different language, which you kind of are.
Ugh,
He's like,
let's just go.
it's the drip. So what's up?
Alright.
So he drives on down. You guys bump into the parking lot, and you guys make it into the food court. It is small and sad. There's one actual chain restaurant, fast food place. There's a couple other, like, mom and pop.
Tomorrow.
Not, like, yeah, that's it. And there's, like, a few other places sort of struggling. But most of them have their gates pulled down as it's midnight. You smell deep fried food coming from down the hallway as one lonely, like, tea/snacks place is open next to an ice cream shop that seems to do some business with the people going to and from the theater down at the other end of the structure. And you guys see Jorge sitting there, nondescript gray dress shirt, jeans, at one of the tables, and he has a wrapper of one of the restaurant that's there just open in front of him as a weird dumb show of him being a patron. And he sees the couple people he invited and waves, and then he sees the other people he didn't. He continues to wave.
Anis approaches and sits down directly across from him.
Says, "Good evening, Anis." And Flex. Enflex like posts behind you, and he's like, "Sup?"
Amflex, you know I don't like it when people stand behind me. Could you please move to the left?
He does like a slide.
Thank you. Are we waiting for others, Jorge?
He goes, "A couple, not a dozen."
Should I not be sitting then?
Well, we'll move somewhere else in a bit. Either way, whatever you're comfortable with.
Alright, I just want to know if I need to stop people from coming.
Not yet, no.
Alright.
The hoodie, Mike, goes right up to Jorge and like looms over him, and Jorge goes, "Yeah, I have some business first." And Niels is like trying to figure out what's going on.
Can I grab him by the elbow real quick and just like yank him off a little bit?
Sure.
And just, okay, what is up with this bike dude? Is he us? Is he other things?
Oh no, he's mostly us.
Mostly.
I mean, he's as much us as you and I are us. He's a Canaanite.
Okay.
He's a Nosferatu. He's got the really bad thing going on.
Oh, those are the ones with the, right.
Yeah. He's also a little off, but not like me.
What are you talking about, Niels? You're not off at all.
That's why I like you. Yeah. The person with the sword shows up again and is apparently expected. Looks like she stepped out of Mary Poppins. And that creepy ass little girl with that like Chicago mobster dude that hangs out with her.
I super see Darla from Catstone Day.
I was about to say that.
She was one of the main influences for Lottie, honestly.
Yes.
They seem to have absolutely been invited. And Jorge actually stands up and sort of greets them as they've come into the circle. And so, Jorge says, "Lady Gwenlian, thank you for making it out."
She definitely does an elaborate bow at him.
Nice. And he goes, "Lottie, always a pleasure."
It's like the most perfect little 3-point curtsy. It's very Shirley Temple.
And he goes, "I believe you've made the acquaintance of Annis and Enflex."
Anna stands back up. It's a pleasure to meet you again.
It's very good to meet you as well. Or to meet you again as well. Yeah.
I
I'm not
believe
sure if we were formally introduced last time, but I have seen you before at gatherings. So, meet me is fine. Annis Glendenning.
I'm a Lady Gwendolyn. Hello. Hi.
Joe and Z also stroll in at about this point. The two of you see quite the assemblage. It's even more entertaining and slightly less threatening as last night.
Do I see who I'm looking for if I look around the crowd?
I mean, yes, you see Jorge right there, who is introducing people to each other properly instead of just having people mill about and then tell them to join their crusade.
Good.
Do I see him? Like, is Angel there too?
No, Angel's not there.
Okay. I'm just like, hey, George.
And he goes, "Z, a pleasant surprise."
Hey, Tara's here too.
Great.
Wow, anime girl and creepy anime girl. Neat.
I'm a creepy anime girl.
I think you're a creepy anime girl.
What's anime?
I concur. What's that?
You know, it's
He's
like
saying
it's
words.
animation from Japan.
Oh, is that on the telly?
You ever see a picture book?
Yeah.
Like that. It's colorful. It moves.
The gray hoodie sort of like comes into frame in the middle of the conversation, and just out of the hood echoes a voice that says, "I have some recommendations if any of you are interested." And then the hoodie like slides back out of the frame.
Absolutely not interested.
Is there anyone else in the room besides those that you can see apparently?
Yeah, you see your buddy Niels and his new
Like,
friend
right in the corner.
over by the fast food place. Like, she's almost trying to crawl through the gate while he's like, yeah, that's why I like you.
Okay, so is there anyone else in the room?
No.
Okay.
No.
It doesn't look like I can get George or Jorge off to the side, does it? Like he's pretty busy glad handling and.
No, not quite at the moment.
Okay. I'll stand towards the back and just kind of meander and wait.
So he makes introductions around, and he pulls in Niels, and he's like, "This is Mike. Mike is a local, does some few odd jobs for us, and he introduces those of you he knows." And Niels is like, "This is Charlie."
Hello.
Jorge holds out his hand for a shake.
I will shake his hand.
It is cold, and you notice that he's like tan, which is really weird for being undead. But there it is. And he's like, "New in town?"
No, but new in that you're, I recently I'm not sure how to, this just happened to me.
He sort of looks from you as you continue through that over to Niels, and he like cocks his head at Niels, like Niels may or may not have just gotten caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And Niels goes, "No, not mine."
No, he wasn't, I mean, we're friends, it's not, he didn't,
She's up north, Palo Alto, and I'm showing her the ropes. And Jorge goes, all right, good. He does pause though, and he looks over at Niels and is like, "I might have some other questions though." And he looks back over at you, Charlie, and he's like, "When you have a few minutes."
yeah, sure, yeah.
Appreciate it. He then turns over to Mike, and he tells Mike to help himself to the local cuisine, and sort of gestures towards the rest of the mall. And he says, "But don't cross 280 or go as far as Blaney. The Merlion across the street, Stevens Creek, usually fine. I'll meet you at the spot down Miller." And Mikey goes, "All right," and like walks off down into the mall. You look over, Charlie, and Niels is gone.
I immediately start frantically looking around for him.
And Jorge also looks over, and he goes, "Oh, he left. Okay."
Well, I'm not really sure what we're doing here. So if he's gone, sorry to crash your
That's fine.
whatever this is.
You were there last evening, and we'll be interested what your thoughts were on the event if you're willing to stay a bit.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
You're free to go at any time you wish. We're not here to.
Well, they're also kind of my ride, so yeah, I can stick around.
Mike should be back later this evening once I'm done with him, at the very least.
Sounds great.
You hear a little rap song pop off somewhere, and you think, oh god, it's Neil. But no, it's Enflex. His pocket just starts rapping, and he pulls out his phone, and he hits it, and he does that obnoxious thing where he holds it, and it's on speakerphone. He goes, yes, sir.
Annis leans really close to him. Are you gonna take that at a meeting?
What? Did we start?
Enflex, take it somewhere else.
He's like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah. No, yeah. I got a thing, but I got a minute. What's up? And he like walks off back outside.
Yeah, have a minute somewhere else.
And Jorge sort of looks around and he's like, please, let's go talk with Angel. Or he says, he calls them Angel. Let's go talk with Angel. And he like steps over to an access door that goes through the back hallways. And there's like a construction area with plastic hanging. And he ducks in through there. And it's very well lit. It almost looks like someone has built an apartment behind the construction partition. And there's some candles, there's carpeting, there's a nice large dinner table. It's actually fairly posh. And almost the polar opposite, but in the same spectrum as Mike, there's like a fancy-ass Strider from Lord of the Rings, just a hood and a cloak, and it's an imposing figure who sits at the end of the table. And they stand up, and you see long, gray, dry, talon-like hands extend from the folds of the cloak at like straight up Ghost of Christmas Future vibes. And you hear this gravelly timber come out of the hood and say, welcome, please have a seat, make yourself comfortable.
Annis waits to sit last, but she takes the moment to like look around for all the exits.
There's a small bank of windows that look out over the street of Wolf Road down towards Stevens Creek, and you're pretty sure that whatever wall you came through with the plastic sheet, a good sneeze would knock that over. So as far as I need to not be here, life and death, you got options.
Okay. But I wait for the others to sit first.
Those of you who've met them before, this is Angel.
I'd like to remain standing by the sheet.
Oddly enough, you notice that there are just enough chairs for all of you.
Uncle
I was like, are Joe and Annis just sort of like standoffing who sits last?
Yes.
Musical chairs again.
I mean, I don't have any intention to sit. Would you like to sit?
You're just gonna stay here.
I can hear everything that's being said.
Jorge's like, we understand that various individuals of our kind have proclivities. But I am curious. I know what I thought I saw last night. I want to know what the rest of you thought you saw last night.
Like a terrible high school recruitment video gone horribly awry, and then a lot of shooting. That's basically it. Does anyone have a better take than that?
That sums it up.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
It was quite surprising that it would have, been someone so important from the city. It certainly didn't feel like I thought it would feel. It felt
Messy,
off.
distasteful.
Rushed.
It felt like a trap.
No production value.
It really didn't have the elegance I thought it would.
You thought you were going to a ball.
No, but, I don't know.
Do that?
It was a little...
A fete.
Depends who you
I
are.
mean, it smelled like piss, didn't it? It wasn't that fancy. I mean, it wasn't fancy, but nicer. I don't know. I don't know. I thought there'd be better locations to choose.
Or hors d'oeuvres served.
That would bring some class to it.
It would have been
There were
nice.
hors d'oeuvres. No one partook.
We're there.
Just gonna like slowly look at him.
They were crumpled up on the floor. You could have ate all you want. Come on.
Annis gives up and finally takes a seat. With a very heavy sigh.
I go sit by Spooky.
Who's spooky? Am I spooky?
No, it's creepy. Like, you're the creepy girl. Spooky's the guy at the end of the table.
I sit as far away from Monho as possible.
I wait until Teddy lifts me to my seat. I'm very short.
No, yeah. As soon as your intention is made, or your intention is apparent,
Yeah, I dramatically lift my arms.
there's very much the lift with the knees and set.
The emotion
Alright.
towards Job, the same Job, the other cherishers. Don't be rude.
Where is the chair?
On the other side of Spooky.
Yeah, I think
Back
so.
to- Is the back to a wall?
No, it's to the glass.
Better.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand. Thanks.
Fair. So Jorge,
Oh, actually, you know what? That is a good point. If Lottie says that, I will take the chair and I will bring it back to where the little screen thing was, and I will sit by it.
oh man,
Scathing disapproval of a small child.
now I wish I hadn't said there was carpet, because then I could have that awkward long of dragging the chair.
For dragging a chair.
Yep.
I mean, you're the god here. You can retroactively
Well,
put out carpet.
There's a real bad reaction with chairs on carpet that really gets under my skin. It's like the equivalent of nails on chalkboards for me, so you can make it terribly awkward.
Sweetheart, that's just because you're weird.
Oh no, that's not a normal thing.
No.
I'm doing the
I-
carpet like that.
I also
carpet
have
on
like
chairs where
certain
it's
carpet
real bad.
with certain legs. I'm with you. It can be a thing.
It's
Don't
it's
have to
real
lie about
bad.
it. It's okay.
So does this guy look more like a Strider or a Ring Wraith?
Love child,
Ooh.
Interesting.
like the aesthetic of a ring wraith, but with the welcomeness of Strider.
Ask him who does his nails. And is there anything up about him? Like, is there anything sparkling?
Not really. When you ask about the nails, you see the little clickety clack of them against the table, and they're like, I do them myself.
Do mine.
And they rest their hand on yours, and it feels like gravel, like running the back of your hand against a road. And they go, and they pat it gently, and say, maybe later. All of my nail polish is in the other salon. The hood actually, after the beat, rotates to you and sort of sinks, and you hear, although I think a lime green would fit them quite well.
Okay.
And it's like it's the most normal thing. Jorge, meanwhile, nods and takes in the feedback, and he goes, to be honest, it felt like Vannevar. It sounded like him. Somewhat desperate, if so. So I'm still not convinced.
Well, according to 8-Ball, it probably didn't look like him. I've never seen Vannevar in person, but this guy had a very messed up face.
No, yes, that would have been new. But I have heard rumors of creatures from the east, from across the sea, who have been making incursions into the city, into LA, that have abilities that are wildly different than our own. It wouldn't be hard to make the conclusion that that was the fate that befell him. But that's conjecture. Miss Charlie, what did you think of the whole affair?
Oh, well, I didn't really know anyone or what was going on, so it was a little odd. But Vannevar, it seemed like he had some kind of, I don't know, agenda. It didn't seem like he was telling everything, but I mean, I don't know the guy, so that might be normal. Something seemed off, maybe? I don't know.
Well, should you ever find yourself in a proper Camarilla court, none of that would have been odd.
Got it.
An ominous bong sort of reverberates through the room as you notice the grandfather clock on the opposing wall strikes the hour has passed. An angel stands up, and you hear a thank you. And Jorge also sort of looks around and says, yes, unfortunately this took a bit longer than I'd hoped. I need to meet Mike. I'm wondering if Angel and I could ask you all for a favor, which we would of course owe in return.
Like what?
He smiles and nods like, oh good, you guys at least know this much. He says, could you please, as soon as convenient, before the trail gets cold, make your way back to the factory and see if you can gather any other information. And to be specific, even if you find nothing, we would consider it a sizable boon. The reason we would not be able to is that tomorrow and perhaps the night after, we'll be traveling, so we won't be able to make it up there. We have a meeting of pressing concerns.
Could be worse.
I'm happy to assist you.
I mean, yeah, sure. I have a couple questions before we break for the evening, but I'm happy to go and do some digging.
Yeah, okay, sure.
At sort of the couple acceptances, the hands of Angel sort of come together like the slowest clap. And as they slide off of each other, you hear that like rasp of something dry scraping. And Jorge says, "Of course. Please, what questions do you have?"
Well.
Oh. Do you not wish to share them in mixed company?
No.
Joe is shy.
I'm looking for someone. I was hoping you might have a lead on them.
Ah. Angel sort of drifts away from the table towards you, and with that same energy of the Ghost of Christmas Future, gesticulates towards a different sheet that leads farther into the building.
I will follow him into that sheet. Mainly when we're out of preternatural earshot, I will ask him, or I will ask them about whether or not they've seen or heard from Ivy. Now knowing that they're not exactly sure what happened in the warehouse.
The hood comes low towards you to share in the conspiratorial tones and says, "My apologies. I have not heard from or seen Ivy in a few years. We had met their acquaintance previously when him and his associates were much more active in the Greater Bay. But ever since the closure of the city, no, I do not know."
Understood. I will continue my search elsewhere. Maybe we'll find something in the warehouse that could lead me to his whereabouts. It's unfortunate, though. He was a perfectly lovely fellow, I'm sure.
As I believe we may have a shared interest in Ivy, I would let you know should I hear anything.
Much obliged.
Other questions for you?
Not today.
And like the arm ominously holds the drape open for you to.
Yeah, I'll come back to the group.
So Jorge like makes small talk, and he's like, "So I heard the Niners are doing okay this year."
Who?
False.
Is that something on the telly again?
Yeah.
Then sure, I hear they're great.
How about them?
Caitlin does not know enough about the Niners to carry on this conversation, but Charlie has a very fluent conversation with Jorge about the Niners.
You realize that you are much more conversant than he is quite quickly. The extent of his knowledge was once they left Candlestick, they got worse, and that was about all of the in he had. And then if you even mention the Raiders, he's like, "I'm out."
someone said that I understand.
Yeah. So Joe makes his way back out from his confession.
So how was it, Scrooge?
And Jorge looks up and he goes, "Any other business I might be able to assist with before I go to my next meeting?"
There was power. No, you shouldn't need to know. Power. There was power, like my son. Shut up. Power, like my son.
Jorge leans in and like snaps towards the sheet that Angel was in, and it floats into the room and hovers over you, Z, as Jorge also sort of sits there and he goes, "The power?"
Like my son. Like my sire.
Like your sire. And the hood actually nods. And Jorge considers that for a moment, and he goes, "Did you come into contact with it?"
Belt. No. No. Belt.
That is distressing.
Annis slowly starts backing up to an exit while keeping a very close eye on Z.
You feel that claw, Z, tap onto your shoulder, and it reassures. It feels like someone's taking part of a cinder block to gently reassure you. But the intention's there, so you know it's not a threat.
Can I do sense the unseen on the area where he's pointing?
Absolutely.
While you're doing that, I'll turn to Annis and say that it was like this the entire ride down.
I'm so sorry. You were in a car with them.
So are you
They
all
were-
friends then? Because you came here together.
Acquaintances.
That's 2.
It's 2? No, there's nothing there.
If we're talking about things that might be relevant, 8-Ball mentioned, or seemed to think, that it was pertinent information. There was that biker gang, and that girl Yui, I think he called her that, there.
The two forms sort of turn away from Z to refocus on you, and they're like, "You is known to us. We've had peaceful interactions with them and her crew." And Jorge's
Well, they
like,
were there, and it didn't seem like they liked being there.
Jorge sort of like supplicates, and he's like, no, they're he goes, "No, most of them are Bruja," and it sort of like nods in deference. So naturally, they're not inclined to the strict order of the Camarilla, especially under a Ventru like Thomas would be. And I definitely believe what Yui said that night, that she didn't approve of his tactics. Did Leon say anything else about her?
Not really. Just that it seemed important that I remembered that.
Well, as that's adjacent to her stomping grounds, should you come into contact with her, send our regards.
Of course.
As I said, we will be traveling the next couple nights, so wouldn't be able to reach out other than electronic means. And it means more in person.
Of course.
Angel has lowered her hands from Z, and Jorge has sort of moved in front of them, sort of making a tableau of the shadow over the individual. And he says, whomever of you decides to venture out there tomorrow night, or the night after, and brings us back any info, the offer still stands.
Great.
And what was the offer? Just a boon? A boon? Not just a boon, that's a big deal, but...
The boon goes away.
Jorge says,
Well, it won't go away.
a significant boon.
No, it goes a long way.
Oh, it's important to use the full sentence structure to avoid
Sorry.
confusion. Yes, very good.
Jorge says, yes, Joe. A significant boon.
Sweet.
Jorge then sort of gestures towards the doorway, and he says, I leave you to discuss amongst yourselves as you wish. We will be departing at this time. Thank you again for attending.
Should I just wait for Mike out front, or...
Jorge looks over and goes, perhaps see a movie. And then the food court? I'll meet you there with Mike when our business is concluded there.
Great.
Jorge walks into the sheet where Joe had the meeting, and Angel's form floats behind him.
Lady Gwenlian Duffy gives him another flourish and bow on the way out.
And in the pregnant silence after they depart, you get the pong, pong. My grandfather clock. It's been a whole hour.
Well, I've been indoors far too long. Lovely seeing you all. Run into you tomorrow looking at things. That'll be great.
Do we want to coordinate like a time? Or do we all individually want to go? So
We're all playing.
Yeah, I mean, numbers make sense, especially, with what went down last time. Probably better to have a few people. So if you look out, if you'd actually scope out and look around to make sure no one's caught, surprised. Maybe.
well,
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
See, are you coming to play?
We'll go to.
Oh,
Great.
delightful.
I hope that you don't need a ride tomorrow. Perfect. Understood.
Miss Charlie, are you joining in?
Yeah, sure. Sounds great.
A favor from a pair of barons is quite a gift indeed,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially if you're new.
Great and totally not overwhelming at all. Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, bring meals on the table.
Sure.
And your camera.
Right.
You take photos.
It's just, sometimes hobby, kind of tried to go pro, didn't really. Yeah, sure, yeah, bring my camera. I usually have it.
I used to work for a military journal. Cameras are good to have.
Yeah, no, they're pretty great. It's pretty fun.
You had it last night. Did you forget it today?
I was at work, so came straight from work, so I didn't bring it. But I can bring it tomorrow, yeah, sure.
Great.
Neat. Suppose we just meet at dark. Find your own way there.
Well, a little after, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, as I don't have a vehicle, it'll take me a second to get there.
Where are you coming from?
North. I don't really have a haven.
Noted. Well, if you find yourself in Burlingame, I can take you from there.
I could find myself there.
And what time is it?
It's just after 2 a.m.
No, that's Chromaticus close.
Hey,
Well,
Miss
Go-
Lottie, can I get a ride tomorrow? Farther trip than normal. I know, find my own way. I'll find- It's fine. Tell her,
Please.
please, may I have a lift tomorrow, Miss Lottie?
Teddy pulls out a little one of those like spiral flip notebooks and pulls out a little like stub, almost a golf pencil, and makes a note.
is it the Blue's Clues notebook? Because that would make me happy.
Lottie, is it? Okay. Flips it back closed, slides the pencil into the top of it, tucks it back into his coat.
Give it one nod.
The ticking of the grandfather clock is deafening.
Teddy, I'm
This
tired. I want to go
charm.
home.
Wow, everyone tried to escape at the same time.
Teddy would pick up Lottie. How does he carry you? Like,
You know.
oh, like
Like a shotgun.
On the hip.
like on the shoulder.
Balances me on the hip.
Oh, hip. Okay,
So I can still, you know, with my arms around his neck, look very condescendingly at everyone.
got it. For a second,
Would you like to be tall?
I pictured whatever Batman villain was like. It was like a puppeteer, but it was the little girl. I want to say. I forget.
God, that's
Oh
so
wait, yeah, that's Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was super creepy. That's very Lottie as well. Watch that again.
I will walk out.
Annis
No.
runs away too. Well, doesn't run away, but
See a movie and then hang out in the food court.
What do you see?
I don't know, what's playing?
It's a $2 Tuesday, so there's a bunch of like films from last year. You know, it's a little slim pickings, especially since it's all like the last showing of the night.
Yeah, I don't know, like Hereditary or something. Like some just like, I don't know.
For some reason, there's a kids.
Charlie's been on a horror kick for the last month or so for some reason.
Actually, what's in the building? I can go have a talk with the guy. I'm sure I can convince him to play whatever you want to see.
It's fine. I'm not gonna pay attention.
Annis, when you get outside, Enflex is still out there, shouting at his phone. It's been over 2 hours.
your ride. If it wasn't my ride, I'd just leave. Ugh. Enflex! Wrap it up.
Yeah. Takes him another few minutes.
Why do you have to repeat everything you say 3 to 4 times? Is it one gap enough?
I don't know what you mean.
No one ever does.
I feel that. No one understands you.
Get a move on.
All right, fine. You guys pile into the
Just like
car.
being in here.
I imagine the rest of you disperse. Lady Gwenlian, any other business this evening?
Well, it's probably too late to ride the light rail back. As it's after 2. So she's probably gonna call a lift and try to be very charming on the ride home to see if maybe, number 1, maybe she'll have to pay. Number 2, maybe she has a little meal. We'll see how it goes. Little column A, little column B.
Excellent. Cool. Charlie,
Yeah.
after several hours, Niels shows up. And he smells of booze and bad vape. But he's glowing. He's like, he's in a good mood. And he's like, need a ride home?
Yeah, but now I'm supposed to wait here for Jorge or something because you abandoned me and I got sucked into some crazy planning meeting.
Oh, ooh, what are you doing?
I don't even know if I'm supposed to tell you. I have no idea what's going on or why I'm involved.
What? If you don't tell me, I can't answer any questions?
We're going back to that warehouse to look for something, more information. That was about all I got. And Jorge wants to ask me questions, which I'm sure is going to go super well.
Just stick to the script. Don't lie. Just infer. And
How is that lying? Is that like a thing?
what?
Like if is that like a thing that people could, like if you lie to one of us, we could just tell? Or
No, that's like a normal everything thing.
like I'm just bad at lying?
I didn't say that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I don't know. They want more. They kept talking about this Vanavar guy and whether or not it was him and what his deal is. I think he's like the prince of something.
Yeah. He. Last anyone knew, Vanavar Thomas was the Prince of San Francisco for 200 years.
Right.
And then it closed down. Like, no Kindred has come in or out of the city for the last few years. Like Willy Wonka up there. It's weird. So the fact that he was there, also really weird.
Yeah, I'm picking up on that. Well, we're supposed to go see if we can find anything there, info or whatever.
Cool.
Jorge's just talking to Mike, I guess.
Yeah.
Back within a couple hours. It should be pretty soon.
Okay. Sure you don't want to ride?
No, I mean I absolutely want to ride, but like, am I gonna piss this guy off if I leave?
I don't think so. Did you say that you guys were gonna like chat or something, or were you just waiting for the ride?
Unclear.
Oh.
He said I should wait here, and then at one point it was talking about Mike and the ride, and another point he was asking if he had questions. I don't know. I don't know how any of this works.
Yeah,
if I could leave and not answer questions, that's probably better. Unless someone's gonna like hunt me down or something.
No, he wouldn't hunt you down. Especially if he asked you to do something. Does he have anything on you that you know of?
I don't know.
So nothing that you know of.
Right.
Okay.
But as we've established, there's a lot of shit that I don't know.
Yeah, fair. How about this? Leave if you want. And he like slides a set of keys across the table to you.
Okay, where are you going?
I'm gonna go get another card.
let's just go. If you think I can go, then let's just go, because I don't really want to, get interrogated right now or, ever.
He slides the keys back across the table.
Oh, also, I'm gonna have an SD card for you to give to Mike at some point tomorrow.
Nice. You want me to stop by and pick that up at your apartment or work?
Apartment's fine. I'm probably gonna call out tomorrow.
Cool. Do you need a car for that?
No, I can just take mine. I do have one. I would take whatever your cars are, but I do have one.
Okay. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
And there's a brand new Volvo that he lets you guys into. It's got a nice touchscreen, leather seats, the whole thing.
Oh, should we check on that guy that's probably still in the back of Mike's car?
He looks over at Mike's car, and he's like, right. And he walks over, and he like pulls him out, and like turns him around, and like leans into his ear, and then just sort of nudges him forward, and the guy just starts walking, and he looks up at the thing, he pulls out a phone, and he's like, and he just like posts up against the wall. And he's like, he's probably getting a lift or something. He's good.
Alright.
You guys hop into the car and he drives up 101.
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah.
you're heading back?
Yeah, but on my way back, I'll dial Timothy again, and let him know that Angel and Jorge had no information, but I will be going back to the scene to investigate further.
You get, or in his posh accent, he says, superb. Thank you very much. And yes, if you could please check that out and let me know if you find anything interesting, especially if it might pertain to our shared specializations.
Noted.
Thank you so much. Feel free to check your bank account when convenient.
Will do. Thank you.
Have a lovely evening.
Thanks. Hang up.
Z?
Yeah, and I'll drive up. Go to bed.
Zio, are you following Joe, or are you gonna find your own way home?
See my trunk.
You're muted. Z, you're muted.
He's
Are you muted on purpose? Is it being funny?
he is.
I'm going to call a taxi,
Okay.
and I'm going to tell the taxi driver, I'm your nephew. I need to go to here, which is my address.
I'm guessing there's a good chance he believes you're his nephew?
Yeah, very much so.
Alright.
Does that mean you get a free ride?
Probably. If it works.
You use money?
That's true.
Let's see here.
Fair.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Easy. Do the thing. That's the thing. That's mesmerize?
Yeah.
Cool. Make me that rouse check.
The red dice?
Just one regular black.
One regular black. I got an on.
That means you're good. Alright, and then go ahead and make that manipulation plus dominate.
Dominate? Oh. I need more dice. 2 crits, 2 regular successes, 2 blanks.
Nice. You get in the car and you're like,
Christmas card from this guy.
yeah, you you get in the car and you say that, and he goes, oh yeah, sure, nephew, and you see him start punching in 911, and then you like lean in and get the eye contact, and you're like, uncle, I need you to get me home, and the like phone falls out of his hand, and he goes, yeah, dude, anytime, we take care of our family, and just starts driving off. So you are good for the night, Anis. Let's see, I'm sure Teddy. The body has disappeared, right? Good. Lottie, you get home in time to watch your shows.
My shows is just my movies.
Yep.
Collection of movies starring me just every night. Living my heyday.
I want a little old projector, like Teddy weirdly has this specialized knowledge of sepia projectors. So good. Great.
Was.
Alright, baby Jane.
I made the deal to stay young and pretty.
Actually, as Anaflex drops Annis off where he picked her up, she checks the time and starts making her way closer to where she's gonna need to be the next day.
Got it. Go ahead and make me a wits plus. Give me survival. And then also, Lady Gwenlian, your Lyft driver rolled poorly. I think you get a free snack.
Yay! Excellent.
Tony,
Yep.
does my proficiency in shelter help me?
If you're looking for specifically shelter, yes. If you're just looking for a safe place to hide out, no, you're looking for shelter.
Yeah.
Then yes, that is an auto success.
And 10s count for
2.
5.
Each pair. Oh, sorry. It's a success. Each pair of 10s is worth 4 successes.
Okay, so just 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there was 1 10.
You managed to find a maintenance closet attached to some larger campground bathrooms that don't properly get locked, that are pretty clean, in a more posh camping area in north of Fremont, brain camp cities right now.
Hayward?
Yeah, probably up there.
Okay.
So definitely farther south than Oakland. So, with you all down for the night, for the day rather, you slip into the coma of unlife for the day waking hours, and we'll go ahead and call it there for the night. Thank you so much for joining in. I'd like to give another thanks for joining us this evening. Thank you to these lovely people for hanging out and playing with us. And can't wait till our next game, which we will schedule shortly. Should have up on YouTube even quicker than that. Say goodnight, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Wow.
Bye.